What was the last kilometre like when you was coming up? And
oh man, it was nuts. I think came over them hills at the end, saw the Med for the first time. You know, I've been running towards it for the last year, and then finally saw it. It was all a bit overwhelming, to be honest. Just kind of thought about everything that we've gone through to try and get to this moment, and then it's, you know, finally here. It's just a bit like, wow, it feels like a video game right now. So yeah, no, like very emotional, man.
What was the first thing you felt as you went through that little bit of red tape?
Our mate Robbie Knox wants to know, did you have any nights out when you were running?
West Ham. Did we have any nights out? We had one in Ghana. You were on holiday then.
You actually did? Stan, do you want to come in here?
We had Christmas Day was a big night. But I don't think we got on it too much, did we? It was pretty business mode for the whole time.
We had the sachets on Christmas Day. The cream liqueur sachets.
Oh.
That was a rough one. We had me and Gus had a night in Benin.
Oh yeah, I remember that because I remember waking up at like 2 a.m. to hear Stan throwing his guts up in the.
I fell asleep on the floor outside the hotel room.
Sorry, did you say what on Christmas night?
Nah, this was just in Benin, right, mate. Just a loose one in Benin.
Why didn't you get in the room?
I just didn't make it that far. Yeah.
What are you crawling?
So the main like alcohol you can buy in Benin, it's what all the locals drink. They just have these sachets of like generic booze.
Right. Sachets?
Like, yeah, sachets.
What?
Just sachets.
Like little KFC ham weight?
Yeah. That's the
like 50 ml sachets, and you read the ingredient. It's like flavoring ethanol.
Yeah.
So we did a little tour, like a tasting tour of the sachets.
Are they nice?
I hadn't drank anything in 4 months or whatever, so.
Right. I'm expecting quite a luxurious sort of like vineyard tour in the south of France.
It was exactly like that.
Was
lovely.
it?
Slightly different vibe.
So you actually did have a little party here and there then when you could?
I kind of couldn't. I occasionally
did. You did. No, in Angola though, you did.
Oh, yeah,
you had a 250 ml beer.
Two stubbies, and I was off.
Yeah.
Off away with the fairies, mate.
Yeah. How's this been for you, Stan? So, Stan, I'm sure all the people out there will know you from the videos and whatnot, but just introduce yourself to our audience if they don't know.
So I'm Stan, and I'm Russ's PA. No, I'm the project manager, and like kind of I head up the content. So all of the YouTube stuff, myself and Jamie edit that on the.
Basically, there's only 4 of us, so everyone's got at least 6 job roles.
Yeah.
Right.
True.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's like editing, but also booking my interviews and telling me to wake up.
Irritating every morning. You have to do.
How are you feeling now, Stan? Now it's all done.
Mate, it's such a mix. Like I'm obviously glad the workload is over because that's been
intense.
Yeah. I am a broken man.
Have you still got a final edit to do?
Don't talk about it. Yeah, that's what I'll do after this. But so once that's done, I'll probably have the relief. But also, I don't know. I just know that I'm going to be gutted when I get home.
It was quite an emotional one yesterday, wasn't it?
Yeah, it really was.
Yeah.
I had a little cry as well. Did I tell you?
Yeah.
Nah,
I was getting out the 4 in the morning, just blubbering away. I was like, oh, is that over?
Yeah, that's interesting, isn't it? It's before, did you have tears? I couldn't quite see you when you was up on the plimp at the finish line. Did you have tears? I imagine that was quite emotional as well.
Yeah, it was on and off all day, to be honest with you.
Yeah. Tears while you're running?
Yeah.
Fucking hell.
Yeah.
What a day it was. I felt so lucky to just be there and see it. I'm not no part of anything you boys have been doing, but we were saying, weren't we, just to witness it. It did feel like you was watching man take his first step on the moon or something like that.
It was weirdly emotional, like just being there.
Yeah, you cried your eyes out, didn't you, Fee? Love it.
I think most people did, to be honest.
Yeah.
Waterworks all round.
Stan, what do you think's next for Mr. Geezer here?
I don't know. I mean, like, you were talking about running the entire world before the mission started. I don't know, that's dropped off that chat a little bit.
Pole to pole, I talked about.
Can you skip Africa now?
Emily screwed her face up off camera there. Are there plans to run the whole world?
Nah, maybe one day, but not anytime soon.
What?
We won't say never, but
it's mostly like charity stuff for you now. That
I've got going back to the running charity, and then got the Sahara Marathon stuff next year. So
Yeah, tell us a bit about the charities then, mate, because it was for two charities, wasn't it?
Yeah, so we raised money for the running charity, which is a charity I've worked for quite a few years, and the whole mission there is really try and engage young people going through hard times in sport, trying to get them running, trying to get them moving, and like empower their lives through that process of, you know, it's the process I went on of, you know, you start off with you're getting your head out the door and doing a 1K, and then it's a 5K and it's a 10K, but it's that motivation and discipline and kind of self-belief and confidence that it bleeds into the rest of your life. So that's kind of the mission there. And then the other one is Sandblast, which obviously they do a lot of work in the refugee camp in the Sahara group, just delivering educational programs and cultural programs to those guys. And there's over 100,000 people in that refugee camp for 47 years. So, yeah.
Wow.
One of the most least known things, you know, like it's crazy.
Fucking hell. And then it's raised quite a lot now. What is it, on 780 at the time of recording?
Is it? Yeah, wow.
Yeah.
When you first went out, I think I remember you posting saying you were aiming for 100k, weren't you?
Yeah.
So you've gone from 100k, you've done that almost tenfold is what you're now going for, isn't it?
Yeah, it's incredible, man. And the donations as well in the last like 2 weeks have tripled.
I think yesterday I looked as you were finishing and it was on about 610.
Yeah.
And then today it's on 780. So it's gone up
it's
massively
nuts,
in one day as well.
It's nuts.
I wonder if there's people sitting there going, I will donate, but I just want to make sure he does
I think
complete it.
I think that's fair cop though, do you know what I mean?
I don't know if it is though.
Give it all the chat, let's see him though. Do you know what I mean? Let's see him actually do it.
But I mean, genuinely, like that's been a problem from the start, right? Because we started the mission with no funding at all, because basically no one believed that it was possible.
Right.
You know, you go up to a big company and you're like, can we have 100 grand to run across Africa? Who's
like,
doing it? Oh, it's some ginger from Word.
Yeah.
Has he done anything before? Sort of.
A few bits and pieces.
Who did back you at the start? What?
So how we actually got the mission off the ground was I got a funding from an investor who's actually a mate of mine, a mate of a mate from Worthing. He's literally made some decent money like investing in crypto and stuff.
Yeah.
And I told him about the story and he was like, you know, just let's go and do it. It made no real business sense, but he was like, sounds cool. Like he goes, so that was like the initial funding just to get the project started. And then about 2 weeks or so into the mission, I got a message off Stephen Bartlett. And he was like, you know, let me know what I can do to help. And then he's an investor in Huron and Perfect Head. And I said, like, we're looking for sponsors and stuff. And he was like, you know, this company, and you know, they've all been great sponsors. Perfect Head, Huel, Hoka, like it's been unreal. Yeah,
superb, love it. We're gonna obviously put all the links to the charities down in the descriptions as well. So happy hour listeners, please do your bit as well and support the boy Russ with the 2 great charities. Stan, just before we let you go, mate, I've got 2 questions for you.
Hit me.
What was your best moment? That's the first one.
Best moment. Well, what do you want from that? Do you want like best story or best?
What's? I tell you what. I don't know if this is a shitter question, but what is just a random moment that stands out for you? Because I think best moment, it's easy to say at the start or the finish, but what's one moment that really is imprinted on your brain for whatever reason?
I'm looking at Jamie over there because he knows exactly what I'm going to say. So this was probably one of the worst moments, but it's like the best story we've got out of it was when we had this border that we had to cross between Cameroon and Nigeria. I've told this story so many times, but it is great. Our van couldn't make the border basically because the normal road border is now a war zone. So you have to go round through like a mountain pass, maddest roads. They almost didn't make it in the 4x4. So Nelly wouldn't have had a shot. So myself and Jamie, who he's our second editor, he'd just been on the job 2 weeks. And we were like, we're going to go and take a boat with the van on the boat across pirate infested waters. Right. And he was like, oh, okay, yeah, sure.
Some of the most pirated waters in the world.
Yeah.
I'll be honest, I'm a fucking idiot. I didn't even know pirates were a real thing.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
I thought they were like ghosts.
Do you not remember the Somali?
Like scary ghosts of the sea.
Yeah.
Is that?
Yeah, they've modernified a bit. They don't like say ahoy anymore.
They've got AK-47s.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
They're like pirates on steroids.
Yeah.
Fucking.
But to be fair, like if they'd have nicked Nelly, then that's probably more of a problem for them than it is a help. But yeah, I mean, the short version is it was a nightmare. We were waiting at the port for about a week. I got malaria in that time, and then we rocked up.
This is Russian laugh.
We were chatting to this guy who was sorting the logistics for the boat, and he showed us the crane that was meant to lift our 4.5 ton van. It was like one of those ones that's on the back of a truck used for lifting bricks and shit.
Oh fuck!
So we were like, that's not going to happen. Eventually we settled on 2 cranes, and then the 2 crane drivers didn't rock up. So they're like, oh, it's all right. We'll just buy 18 planks of wood. You're paying for those, by the way. And we'll build a deck on top of the boat. Then they showed us the boat. It's like this wooden thing falling apart. Like it's water coming in all the time. They've got like a water pump pumping water out just non-stop.
Fucking hell.
It's leaning to one side like this, almost not big enough for the van. Built a deck on top, and then we had to try and drive it up 2 planks. Took us 4 hours to drive up the planks because nobody knew what they were doing. Van nearly fell in the sea. Then we get out to sea eventually. There's a huge thunderstorm, and the van almost falls in again.
Jamie texts his mum saying, "I love you," because he thought he was off.
Fucking hell.
No, but genuinely, we had this conversation when we were sat in the van at first, and then some like panic crew members were like, "It's not safe in there. You need to go sit in the holds." So we're sat on a load of cargo, like biscuits and stuff. I don't know what. We just had this really frank conversation where we were just like, "Yeah, we might die. Yeah, possibly. It's not really anything we can do about it though. Yeah, I'm off to sleep. See you in a bit."
Fucking hell.
It's crazy.
I can't imagine that feeling of like, yeah, we could actually. I was once, when I was a kid, right, someone put me in a suitcase, put them through me down the stairs. And
God, what did you do to that?
it was my cousin, and it was only 3 steps. And I remember, yeah, it's funny.
Standard child.
Yeah. And I thought I was going to die. But that, I think tops it, boys.
I don't know. I feel like that you were more likely to die doing that.
I don't know about that. And Stan, I've asked this the wrong way round, haven't I? Because I've done best moment. Now I've got to go, what was the worst moment? See you later, Stan. What was the worst moment?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, there's been, I don't know if it's a moment really. We've spoken about this before, but like the hardest thing about this was the longevity. Yeah. And like,
it's like compound interest, mate. It's just day after day after day after day.
And you know there's going to be at least 4 or 5 like major problems every day, and there pretty much always has been. Like we very rarely had a smooth stretch. And I think the real clincher is like you might get held up at gunpoint, or you might get harassed or robbed or put on a boat across the pirate infested waters, and then you know that after that 10 p.m. you set up camp, you got to edit for 6 hours. So that was the hard bit. Is like combining the job with everything we were going through, and that adding up over time for a year.
Fair play. And Stan, have you got a message for Russ?
Yeah, well done. Good job.
Nice work.
Nice work. Yeah. Could have been a bit faster though.
Could have. Sorry, lad. Sorry, lad.
You did promise me a Christmas at home, so.
Some things don't always get what we want.
That said, though, I got extra 4 months of pay. So
exactly. There you go.
Cheers, Stan. Nice
Pleasure to meet you.
Cheers, mate.
Nice
Thank you.
Mate.
So, Russ, you finished the mission yesterday. That final run, was that easier or harder than the other run?
Definitely easier.
Yeah.
Yeah, like there's so many people there. The amount of energy like you get from just running that massive group, incredible. Base didn't even feel anything.
Really?
All day, yeah.
Were your legs all right after?
Yeah, I was going quite quick yesterday as well.
Yeah, I heard that. Because,
a lot of people came up, and they were like, so many people around the hotels and stuff were going, I'm going to run the marathon today. I'll do the half, I'll do the 10K or whatever. And they were looking at like your last couple of runs, and you were doing like 8-minute kilometers. And everyone was like, no, I think I could keep up. And then you were just smashing it yesterday, and so many people were dropping off and giving up.
I think the heat got a few people straight from the UK to Tunisia, and they're like, whoa.
Yeah,
a little bit spicy, isn't it?
Well, people have been asking me around the town, like, "Oh, are you doing it?" And my excuse is, "Nah, I'm a ginger in the sun," which I realise holds no weight at all. What was the last kilometre like when you was coming up? And
oh man, it was nuts. I think came over them hills at the end, saw the Med for the first time. I've been running towards it for the last year, and then finally saw it. It was all a bit overwhelming, to be honest. Just kind of thought about everything that we've gone through to try and get to this moment, and then it's finally here. It's just a bit like, wow, it feels like a video game right now. So yeah, like very emotional, man.
What was the first thing you felt as you went through that little bit of red tape?
Just like, wow, that's a lot of people. There's a lot of people here, and there, a lot of cameras there, and all kind of nuts.
Were you expecting that as you came up, just to see everyone there?
I didn't expect that. I can't lie. It was crazy. You boys were there, weren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Carnage.
There was a lovely moment when you just went down on the beach and just loads of people following you, and then you just jumped in the sea.
Yeah.
Some feeling, eh? What's next, Russ? What's next? What are you doing? I don't mean like the curry with the lads or whatever it was.
Yeah, like next challenge.
Yeah, because everyone's going to want to interview you and stuff like that. And we're fucking annoying like that, mate.
Well, there was a viral tweet that went around a couple of weeks ago saying that the challenge was hard, but the tougher challenge is going to be all the podcasts.
Stephen tries, wasn't it? Yeah. You got a good one there. You got a good one.
Yeah. Are you going to be doing pods and stuff?
Yeah. So I'm going to definitely take like a week or two off. And then I'll do a few. I don't want to milk it too hard. Like I don't want to bore people too much with all of it. You know, once it's done, it's done. So yeah, mate. I'm not sure in terms of next challenge. It's going to be a hard one to kind of top. I don't really want to be away for another year anytime soon.
No.
So you know, I'm sure there's loads of stuff I've got in the notes. You know, might take that off, but. We'll wait and see. Definitely we'll be running more.
I was chatting to you. Definitely we'll be running more. I was chatting to you about 3 months in. I've got it here. And I asked you saying, what are you going to do next? And you said, I don't know if you remember what you said.
Nah.
You was probably eating some weird snake or something at the time. So you said, I'm going to hit up Elon and to get me to do laps of the moon.
Yeah, that would be good, wouldn't it?
And normally that would be the ramblings of an absolute fucking madman, but I quite believe it.
The SpaceX sponsorship coming in tight there, right?
What has this challenge made you grateful for, Russ?
Man, I think one of the big things that being away for this kind of amount of time makes me grateful is just like the UK. And I know it's kind of like one of them things where we, as British people, we just love to moan about the UK, like the weather shit, people shit, whatever. But, you know, we have a lot of opportunity in the UK and it's, you know, it's so amazing, really, in a lot of ways. And yeah, I'm just like excited to go back home, really.
Superb. Is the beard and the hair staying? It's staying.
So.
Emily, are you happy with that? She's fine with it.
It looks good.
Do you reckon?
Yeah.
Little tidy up. I do need to trim the beard, eh? The beard's a bit
I like the waves in the hair, though.
What?
I like his hair.
Are you talking to me?
No. Why?
I've just had a feeling you were talking to
Your
me.
hair has gone quite weird at this exact moment.
I know. Russ, and to the happy hour listeners, like I know everyone on Reddit was going, oh, do a 3 hour, do a 4 hour. Russ is such a sound guy that he literally has given us 3 hours today, but we're not going to take all that time because your friends and your family are out here. You've already been asked so many questions from so many different publications, but you've been so generous with your time, Russ. You're the first man to run Africa. How does that feel?
Pretty good, I guess. Job done. Mission complete.
Mate, absolute legend.
Top stuff,
This
boys.
has been Jack Makes Happy Hour podcast with me, Jack Makes, Stevie White, and the main man, Russ Cook. I think from now on, when people ask me who my heroes are, your name's going to be in there. I'm not even being cheesy. You're an absolute hero. Cheers, guys. Thank you.
Nice one.